What's up, guys? This is the KZ Sportsman. I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through everything that you're going to need to know on how to set this up, how to dump the tanks, and any kind of operation that you're going to need. So the first thing you're going to want to do as soon as you get to your campsite is make sure that your camper is level side to side. So what I mean that is you're going to be able to use these leveling blocks, stack them like so, and get the wheels level before you get anything else level or unhook from your vehicle at all. So when you're on paved sites, gravel sites, most of the time you're going to be pretty close. However, if you're off-grid camping or just camping wherever you want to, you're most likely going to need to use these levelers. It's very important to start this before you unhook your vehicle because you obviously can't roll the camper back and forth yourself. So make sure you do this. We do have a built-in level here that will show you your level as you're going forward. So this is obviously from side to side. This will be from front to back, which you can use your leveling jack for later on. So obviously if you need one, you just leave it like this, put it under the wheel. If you need to stack, you can have three and stack like this and so on and so forth. You get the picture, but that's obviously the very first thing that you want to do. So once we're done leveling the unit side to side, we're going to level it front to back. This is all going to be done through your leveling jack up front. And this is also before any of the stabilizer bars go down at all. The leveling jack is electric, so if you're out of battery, you can pull your truck or vehicle close, and you're going to need to hold down this little light button. Up for up, and down for down. It's really simple. Again, you're going to use this level here to make sure that you're in a good spot. Up against that, and then once you're level front to back, side to side, then you can put your stabilizer bars down. Now it's really simple. If you do have an impact drill, I'll leave this socket in there. This socket fits these perfectly, and you just tighten those down. If you don't have an impact drill, we will have a hand jack here, which is also fairly simple. It moves pretty quick. You're going to do the exact same thing. When you're putting these stabilizer jacks up, you don't actually want to level the unit with them. All you're wanting is just a little bit of rise that's going to take the weight off of the stabilizer jack and make sure that all of these scissor jacks all the way down are going to keep you nice and level throughout the duration of your camping trip. So once you're completely leveled and stabilized, the entire unit is where you need to be. You want to go ahead and shock the wheels, make sure that the unit is secure, and then from there we're going to go ahead and hook up to our electricity if you have that option. So this unit is a 30 amp. If you have the option, you'll have a little breaker box. You'll want to make sure that your breaker is turned off before you do anything. First step is going to be always to plug into the unit first. It has a little watertight clamp that you can clamp down, and then from there you're going to take your 30 amp plug and plug that into the breaker. Again, make sure that the breaker is off, plug it in, turn it on, and then you'll have electric all throughout the camper to be able to use the fridge, the air conditioner, all the lights, and so on and so forth. Alright, so once you're completely set up, your stabilizer bars are all the way down, then you're ready to go ahead and get inside the unit, get your awning and slide out. This is just a simple lift and lock in place the door. This unit is equipped with a friction fit door, so this door is going to stay wherever you want it. It's a little windy today, as you can probably hear. So that unit, the door is going to stay wherever you need it. The only thing to be aware of, as you can see here, is that you want this door at least 90 degrees when you're putting this awning out. This is the bar and the operation for the awning, so this door needs to be out of the way for the awning to operate properly. And if you're wanting to use a nice day like it is today, simple flip of this switch right here, and then you've got your screen door. So the steps are a fold-up system. They're aluminum. It's very easy to operate. This handle right here will release the latches, and then you can let these steps down. As you can see right now, we want to make sure that this door is actually all the way open when we're using the steps, and then again at 90 degrees when we're using the awning. You can let the steps down. They also have adjustable feet. So if you are on unstable ground and you need to adjust these feet, They have little pins in them that will release. You can slide the legs in and out and get your proper height. You're going to want to make sure that this section of the stairs right here is sitting pretty level with the threshold of the door. Otherwise, you are going to have some issues closing and opening the door. All right, now before we go too much farther into the interior and further setup of this unit, I'm going to talk through the propane tanks, how they work, and then also we have a battery shutoff. So if you're not getting power, there's no power going to the unit, whether you're plugged in or not, go ahead and check this battery switch. On the green means that you'll have power off. To the red means that you're cut power. This is just to conserve battery life. So if you're traveling and you just kind of want to charge the battery, you can flip it off and it'll charge the battery well. Propane, very simple. We have one hose that you can switch back and forth between the two 20-pound tanks. And then as soon as you're ready to have propane, this will be for your water heater, for your furnace. The fridge will also run off of propane if you are camping off-grid and don't have that. Open that up. Also the stove. So you'll need to pilot light the stove. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to go ahead and open this up now, and we can walk through the rest of the unit. All right, so these are the operations for the awning and the slide. As you can see here, just a simple operation in and out. For the slide, same operation as the awning. It'll start to slide out, and then it's going to have some audible clicks that will let you know that it's all the way in position. You'll also kind of see it start to tilt back towards its proper orientation. But this is just holding the button down the whole time. Slide operates very smoothly and freely. You are going to want to make sure that there's nothing blocking above this slide as you're pushing it out. The clicks will come here in a second. There you go. That's how you know your slide is engaged and you are now properly fully set up. From here, we're ready to go ahead and open up our awning. I'll show you guys here in a second, but it's a simple button operation. Again, to make sure our door is at 90 degrees. And we're just going to hold the button down until that awning's all the way out. Occasionally this awning will have some water on it like it does today. There's a flap that when we get to the right section, that flap will come down. Sometimes when this awning's wet, it won't completely fall down. But you will see a little sticker, and I will show you guys that. That will kind of tell you where you're at on the awning and when you need to stop. Flap didn't come down today. So that's where we're at the awning. Fully automated, like I said. However, this awning does not have any type of wind preventative measures. So if you are going to be camping and you know it's going to be windy or rainy or thunderstorms, just go ahead and put the awning in whenever you're not at the site. That way you can monitor it, because this awning does have the capability to flip this camper if it catches enough wind. Before we go inside, I want to walk through what you guys have in the pass-through storage here. We've got a little aluminum table that you guys can use at the campsite. There's a broom, as well as 5 chairs for you and your whole family to use. We've kind of got everything set up. Occasionally some campers will leave some stuff behind, so we've got a little bit of lighter fluid and some water jugs as well, which are nice to have after making fires and putting them out. So you guys will have access to all of this. This will be cleaned and sanitized after every use. All right, so your main switch is going to be here. You've got an exterior switch that operates an LED light that's under the awning. Really nice at night. Also, you've got these 2 lights here that will come on with this one switch. Every other light that operates throughout the unit is going to be a push button. So you've got one here under the sink. Simple push and turn on. You are going to want to make sure that these are all turned off whenever you leave your campsite and when you're towing the vehicle, because they will drain power. Moving over here, you do have a radio. It is Bluetooth capable, USB capable, aux capable, works really well inside and out. You do have speakers outside. Simply turn it on. Zone 1 is outside, Zone 2 is inside. And if you want to turn them on and off, you just hold down the Zone 1 and the Zone 2 button. They're fairly straightforward. You should have decent radio coverage on both AM and FM. This unit is equipped with an antenna for that. So hopefully you should have decent service if you want to use it. Otherwise, you can bring a USB and hook your phone up however you want to do it, or hook up to the Bluetooth. Now, if you're camping in this late spring, early summertime, and you're going to want to use the air conditioning unit. It's a really simple operation. You have a number of different settings of low fan, high fan. Those are simply going to be the fan that pushes air through this unit. You also have a thermostat that'll automatically turn the unit on and off, so you can kind of adjust that. When you get into low cool and high cool, that's going to be the actual air conditioning and condensing of the air that'll push cold air through that. And again, I would use it, it'll cool the unit off pretty quick because it is a smaller unit. You're going to end up probably freezing yourself out, and then you also have a couple vent adjustments here that you can operate normally pretty easily. So through that, they're closed off for the winter, but you can open those up and then you're going to have really nice airflow throughout here. All right, so we'll go ahead and walk through the kitchen setup here. Up top, you will have a coffee maker that is plug-in only, so when you're hooked up through the 30 amp volt, all of your plugs throughout the camper will work. I have coffee maker, filters for you guys, and a little bit of coffee. Up top, we also have coffee mugs. Now, I do have to let you know that the coffee mugs and plates and bowls that we have are not insulated at all. So there is a don't touch when hot warning. You can burn yourself, so you want to make sure that you're using those by the handles. And if you have a really hot bowl, just make sure you have a napkin or some type of pot holder that you can use for those. Just want to let you guys know that up front. We also have a little bit of spices in here. If you guys are culinary inclined, you can make your own meals in here. Microwave, fully operational once you're again plugged into the 30 amp power. Works just like any other microwave. And then your stove as well here. I'll go ahead and show you guys the operation. We do have lighters, as you can see, in here at all times. So the stove's really simple operation. You're going to turn this to light, and then it'll go ahead and light. And then you can kind of select your temperature from there. This stove is very operational, very, very hot. My wife and I have a really hard time cooking anything except for on completely low. So if you guys are cooking in here, I would highly recommend not keeping it on a high setting because you can burn stuff. Also, the only vent that you have while you're cooking is this vent above you, the roof vent above you, and I'll show you guys that here in a minute. But it's also a simple operation, but it's just a good idea. That way any smoke or anything that might happen can go straight out the roof. So starting over here with our contents, we've got your plates and bowls. Again, like I said, you do have a cutting board as well as pots and pans, anything you might need to cook all your food. Through here, we've got your paper towels, and then we also have a trash can here for you guys as well. That's kind of nice just to keep around for any food scraps or anything that you might have. We have soaps, hand towels, drying racks, also any type of trash bags, Kleenexes, paper towels, and toilet paper that I do insist you guys use. I'll go ahead and show that to you. It is specific RV and marine toilet paper. It breaks down much easier in our black water tanks. Do not use your own toilet paper or flushable wipes or anything like that. Only put these guys down the toilet. Lastly, we've got our drawers here. This is going to be all your silverware. We do have a wine bottle opener and then a couple bottle openers here as well. Any type of cooking utensils you might need, a pair of scissors, that's all in here, tongs. And then this drawer's got your lighters in it. This bag also contains some roasting sticks, so your marshmallows, your hot dogs, those are all in here. You do have a couple hot pads, and then some knives and measuring spoons. And lastly, on the bottom, we've got Ziplocs, Reynolds wrap, any a lint roller, an extra nightlight if you guys need it. So this is all available for you guys' use if you need it, and we'll keep this in here. All right, so lastly, we have the fridge here. Like I said, it will run off of propane if you want it to. You'll hold down the power button. Right now it's showing the electrical charge because we're on battery. Once you have, there's a little droplet that is the propane that will start to operate it, and then you have a button that can control the coolness of the fridge while you're doing that. Freezer as well, and they will get pretty cold pretty quick. So once you guys get to your unit and you're plugged into the 30 amp, within 10 minutes you should be already down to the cold temperature of this. It's quite spacious for a small unit, so works really well. You can pre-cool it with the propane, put your food in there, and then turn it off while you're driving. I would recommend. All right, so now we're going to move into the bathroom. You do have a really nice door. It isn't as spacious as some people would like. However, you have plenty of room to do whatever you'd like to do. We have a toilet here that has a simple foot flush operation. You push this down and it'll force water through there. A good thing to remember when you're camping and using these toilets, more water is better. I will recommend that if you guys are filling up the water, that you go ahead and put at least 5 gallons in this tank. This is a 15-gallon tank. It helps disperse the solid waste as it's going down through the dump tubes. If you don't do that, you can have what's called the TP of buildup, and you can imagine that doesn't work very well. It will back this toilet up, and that will result in fees on your guys' end if you're unable to get it cleaned up. So highly recommend use as much water as you can, and this is definitely not the place to conserve water. The kitchen and the shower, you can still conserve water. We do have towels for you guys. There's going to be 5 towels in here. Some nice hooks. All right, so inside the bathroom here, you do have kind of everything you're going to need to know about the camper. You have 2 switches here. One is for your water pump. If you're not on a city water hookup, which I will show you outside, then you're going to want to use the water pump, which will pump your freshwater tanks into your sink and your shower and then the toilet as well. You also have the water heater. This will heat the water as it's coming through. You have a 6-gallon water heater tank. It works really well, so you can have hot water in the coldest of winters. Here you're going to have your indications of battery. So our battery here is just about dead. This is our fresh tank. So this is going to be tank that is supplied through the shower and the sink. And then we are going to move into the black tank. That's going to be specifically for the toilet. Looks like we do have a little bit of water in there, which is good. And then lastly, the gray tank is going to be the wastewater from the sink and the shower. So that will be strictly gray water, which is going to be, again, from the sink and the shower. And when you're going to dump these, you want to make sure that these read at least 2/3 full. So right now, the black's only at 1/3 full, and then the gray is not even there. So we want to make sure that these are at least 2/3 full before we dump. If not, we're not going to have a proper pressure to push all of the waste out, and could result in not a good flush. All right, so I'll go ahead and show you guys the shower here. Again, it's small, but has plenty of everything that you guys will need. Again, we've got our shower here. It is a tub as well, so you guys can operate it as a tub, give the dogs, kids bath, whatever you guys need. And then up top, we've got another vent, which is just a simple twist operation. This is really good when you guys are taking showers to make sure that all the steam goes straight up and doesn't flood back into the camper or hurt any of the walls. A good note, when you're taking showers with this smaller unit and you're not on city water and you're just using your freshwater tanks, I recommend military showers, which are going to be rinse yourself down, turn the water off, lather up, turn the water back on again. The water can go pretty quick whenever you're using it in this shower. So if you guys are wanting to conserve water, and again, you're not on city water and you don't want to keep having to fill up, I would highly recommend doing what we call military showers. All right, so we'll move on over to our bunks here, and then also our thermostat operation. Thermostat is right here. This will operate strictly for your furnace. So if you're camping in spring, fall, winter, you guys want to use the furnace, make sure your propane's on, and then you'll switch this flip over to heat and then set your temperature. It's very simple. There's a vent right here that'll blow out hot air, and then as soon as it heats up, just like your furnace at home, it'll shut itself off. Moving into the bunks, each of the bunks do have their own lights, and then they're also going to come equipped with the sheets and a blanket as well. You've got windows for each of the bunks, and I would really highly request that if you're getting up on the bunks, don't use this to get up. Go ahead and step here and then get yourself up. I know it's hard with kids to do that, but the more that this gets moved and pried off of, then it can cause some damage. So just try to remember that whenever your kids are hopping in and out of here, or you are, just step your foot on there and throw yourself up and you'll be in good shape. Okay, we're going to move on to the dinette here, and I'll show you guys how to convert this. First and foremost, obviously can be operated as a simple table. This is an emergency exit window as well. I've got them open right now. Normally they're going to be like this, closed off, and then you have your simple mini blind operation as well. To get these emergency exits open, you just kind of twist and lift this out, push, and then if you do need to get out, there's a red tab right over there. You pull the screen off, and then that window will push all the way open and you can get out. Right behind me on the main bed area, you're going to have an emergency exit as well. So hopefully you won't need it, but that is how it's operated. From here, I'll go ahead and show you guys first where the dinette sheets are. So under both of these benches, you will have storage. So simply lift your cushions off, and then you've got a little finger pull, push the table over, and then I've got 2 pillows as well as a full set of sheets that'll work for this dinette conversion. And then the same side has storage for you guys, whether you want to put clothes or food, whatever you want to utilize that for, you can. So the dinette conversion, it's pretty straightforward. It works a little bit better with 2 people, but you're just gonna pop, and you see those poles will come out, lay them on the ground, and then underneath these, you'll see in person they have little ledges. You're going to take the top, rest it on those ledges, and then we take our back cushions and tuck them right in the middle. And then you've got a double full bed right there. And again, these sheets will fit that, and you'll have 2 pillows as well, again with a blanket that you can utilize for the dinette conversion to get another person to sleep in here. Okay, so finally we're at the main bed area. You will have storage up here in this corner. We have 2 blankets for you guys. One of those blankets will be for the dinette conversion. The other one you guys can use for however you want, whether it be for the main bed, out at the campsite, whatever you want. Up here is where we're going to have your towels stored for you. Again, there'll be 5 large towels, 2 medium-sized towels that are good hand towels, and then we have a couple washcloths that'll be located under the sink for your guys' use as well. We've got 3 windows around the main bed. 2 of these windows do open up. Like I said earlier, your emergency exit window is on this side, and then we have a smaller window that's simply kind of a pinch and drop operation over here. Really nice airflow through here, and then you have window treatments on all of them. It does get a little complicated when you're sleeping, so just be aware of the mini blinds and make sure you're not breaking them too much, but we do understand things happen. So that's the entirety of the unit. If you guys have any other questions, you can let me know. From here, we're going to move out to the outside of the unit, and then I'm going to walk you guys through freshwater tank fill and also the sewage dome. All right, so now we're moving on to everybody's most dreaded part about camping. It's really simple, and hopefully this video is going to help you guys understand how to not have a Robin Williams RV situation. It's, again, really simple. As long as you follow the steps properly and do everything in the right order, you're not going to have any problems at all. First, I will talk you guys through city water connection is going to be on the bottom here. This will hook into a hose. I have a 25-foot RV hose. For you guys, if you do have city water hookups at your site, then you can hook your hose onto here, and again, that'll negate your reason to have a water pump, and then you'll have fresh water throughout the camper. That will feed through the hot water heater as well, so you guys will be in good shape there. Right above it is your fresh tank fill. Now this unit has about 25 gallons of fresh water tank, so you'll turn your hose on and then just rest it in there, fill your fresh water through there. Only use fresh drinkable water in this, and this is going to feed your shower and then also the sink as well. It has a little bit of a vent here that'll kind of spit some water back out, and it'll let you know that it is full. So in the front pass-through storage, I kind of showed you guys that earlier, where we had our leveling blocks. It's going to have everything you need to kind of set everything up. The RV hoses, the electric hose to hook everything up, the wheel chocks, pretty much everything, as well as this bag. So this bag is going to be something that you guys are going to want to pull out as soon as you're getting ready to dump. First thing in this is going to be your fall-off system. So you have plenty of length here, a simple Velcro strap. Pull it apart. And then you're you're gonna just extend this to wherever your waist dump is. This is gonna make sure that you don't have any heavy spots in your tube as you're dumping and that your flow stays good. We also have a couple of rubber gloves in here for you guys' use. And then the angle, this will go on the end of your waist dump hose, and this will go into the actual dump at your site. So the hose itself is located in the back side of the bumper. You kind of squeeze the middle, pop it out. And then this is your hose right here. We'll pull this out, and then you're gonna kind of lay it down here. Now the operation here is you're gonna make sure, these are our valves right here. So you wanna make sure that your valves are pushed in. Next, you're gonna twist and let that go. You might have a little bit of, that's just gonna be gray water, just that's gonna be resting in there. We do have the same hookup here. So you're gonna insert that on there, twist, and then that's secured. Now, very important to make sure that these are secured very well, and it's really simple. This is also something that I try to sanitize fairly regularly, so you shouldn't have very many issues of other people's waste being in your way. But this end right here just slides onto the end, and they're friction fit, and that's good to go. So you put that down into the waste hole, and you're ready to dump. So from there, very important to remember, always pull your black tank first. They're conveniently labeled black and gray. The black tank, again, is your solid waste from your toilet. That needs to be pulled first. And once there's a little bit of clear section here. Once you get that clear and there's not much flow coming through anymore, then you can pull your gray water tank. You can leave the black open to let any remains come through, but the gray water tank is gonna help flush that down. And then once you're completely stopped on the flow, close both valves. Then you'll unhook this. And then most sites will have some type of hose for you guys, some type of wash. If not, I would recommend that you guys use the hose that's provided, hook up to their spigot, and just spray this out a little bit more before you completely pull it out. Make sure you kind of dump all the water, get all the gravity fed out of there. And then once you're done, simply insert the hose back into the bumper. And then this angle will go back into the bag again. And then kind of just do everything in reverse order. We'll go ahead and cap this off. We want to make sure that this is capped off at all times. Don't leave the gray water open to kind of drain anything else. We don't need it. And that's pretty much it. You'll fold everything else up and then you'll be in good shape. While we're here, I'll go ahead and talk through some of the contents of this bag. We do have a couple extra fittings. And then this, again, is the hand crank for your stabilizing jacks. If you don't have a drill or anything to use. Also, if you find yourself at a site that does not have 30 amp power, I have a 110 plug as an adapter for a 30 amp that you guys can plug this in and just use a regular 110. You will not have the option to use the air conditioning. I think the fridge will work pretty well, but if you start using a lot of stuff, it'll blow the breaker and you won't be able to use it. We do have a small toolkit for you guys here. And then lastly, this unit is equipped with a backup camera. So as soon as you plug this into your car, cigarette lighter in your car, you're gonna be good to go. You're gonna have a live feed from the camera on the back side of the unit. And this is really nice. I use it pretty much as a blind spot monitor while I'm driving down the highway. It gives you a little bit more view while you're driving, and then obviously helps a ton when you're backing a camper in. So that'll all be available for you guys to use and always in there. Again, if you guys have any questions about this, if you're worried about this, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Ask any questions you can. You can find other videos on YouTube, anywhere else. Again, it's a pretty straightforward process. I have a gallon of Germex up in the front passenger storage for you guys, and we'll be in good shape. Go ahead and walk through how to properly hook up and then obviously in the reverse order unhook this camper. Very simple. Just make sure that you follow all the steps correctly, and you guys will be able to pull this camper with absolutely no problem. First and foremost, before you pull or you're shutting everything down, make sure that both your propane tanks are completely shut off. And then we can go ahead and drop our leveling jack down onto our hitch. Now, this camper has a 2-inch ball. I would recommend, I personally do not supply hitches. I could possibly rent one to you guys if you don't have one, and we can kind of discuss that further if you need it. However, we want to make sure that this trailer is sitting properly. So on my truck with 4-wheel drive, it sits a little bit higher than most cars. So sometimes I will use a 2-inch ball, 2-inch drop on this, and it sits a little bit down. We want to make sure that we have a proper tongue weight. So kind of look up your car specifications and how that it should be, how a trailer or something should be situated on that. We want to make sure most of the time that this tongue here is level with the ground, and that's going to give the camper just a little bit of a lean forward and the proper weight on top of the hitch. So from here we have a little foot pad here that you can pop your pin out of, put back in for ease. This is going to be a 7-pin hookup. This unit does require a 7-pin hookup. I also am requiring that you guys have a brake controller installed on your vehicle. If that's not an option for you, contact me and we can kind of discuss things. But best case scenario, you need a brake controller because this unit is over 2,500 pounds. It's almost 3,000 pounds. And by law, any unit over 1,500 pounds needs to have trailer brakes. So this has trailer brakes. They work really well, and it helps for people who haven't maybe towed before, make sure that they have plenty of room to stop. So once you guys have got the hitch down on the ball, you want to lock that in place. I also have a locking pin for you guys. It's a little bit extra security while you're at your campsite. I'll go grab that here in a second. But next, I normally like to go ahead and hook up your 7-pin. Again, my truck has this already installed. Your hookup will be somewhere near the bumper or wherever your hitch is. So you hook that up, and then we have our safety brackets here. Something really important to remember when you're hooking any of this stuff up, we want to make sure that it's not dragging on the ground, because if it drags on the ground, it will damage it and probably render it useless. So, and we want to get both of these guys down. They're hooked to the same point, so there's no point in crossing them as you would a different trailer. So what you can do to avoid, even on my truck, these do drag. What you can avoid that is just twist your chain to where it's not dragging anymore. And then you'll hook it onto your hitch. Most of these hitches, pretty much every hitch should have some type of hook. And that's where you're going to hook these guys onto. Again, give it a few twists. Make sure that it's going to be riding at a good height. And that's about where you want them. Again, these are in case the hitch should come undone. These are going to hold the camper. I'm going to allow you to stop. The last thing that you're going to want to hook up to your actual vehicle is going to be this emergency brake switch. So it is a red line that's kind of tucked behind these propane tanks. It has a little hook on it, and then you're going to want to hook that up to something that is stable on your vehicle. So again, if this were to separate from your vehicle, the chains will engage, but this will also pull, and that'll engage the brakes on the trailer, allowing the trailer to stop on its own and then kind of pulling your car to a stop as well. Highly important that you guys remember that. And then I'll show you this pin. So this pin I keep on in the bag that's in the pass-through storage. The key, the gray key, will operate this pin. Again, it's a little bit of security for you guys while you're on the campsite. So when you unhook, I would just go ahead and put the pin in. It allows so people can't just pull up and drive off with the camper. Normally we don't have any problems at all, but you can never be too safe. So now we're completely ready to pull. What we're going to do now, again, like I said, is do a couple walkthroughs of the entire camper, make sure that any doors are closed and the awning and the slide are in, and any issues that we might have pulling that we've got taken care of. And that's pretty much all you guys are going to need to know about this camper. We're ready to pull. All right, so the last thing that I want to show you guys is the operation of this backup camera. I talked about it earlier, and it's a really simple operation. Again, I've just got it plugged into my cigarette lighter there. It's a simple suction cup operation with a little switch on the back, really easy to use. Something that's very important that a lot of people sometimes struggle with on this, the only thing that you need to make it work is either have your running lights on or your actual lights. And once you're hooked up to the camper itself, it'll find it, and then you have video on the back. So again, your lights have to be on. I've also recommend always towing with your lights on. That'll operate all of the lights on the camper properly, give you your running lights, brake lights, everything. So just make sure that you tow with at least your running lights on, and this camera will work great, and you'll have no problems towing. All right, so we'll go ahead and talk you guys through the tear down of camp. We're done with camping, and this is a very important step to make sure that you're going to be towing your camper in the right way. There's a few mistakes that can happen. They're easily avoidable, that make towing really easy. So I'll just talk through kind of the teardown process, the mental notes that you guys need to be thinking about as you're preparing to leave the campsite. The whole process is really just going to be done in reverse. So obviously you want to go inside the unit, make sure everything's turned off. You want to get your slide and your awning tucked back in, and the whole unit back to its compactness. You want to make sure that all the lights are off, the water pump and the water heater, those switches that we talked about in the bathroom, that you want to make sure that those are off. And then you can go ahead and come outside, and then we're going to do the reverse order of how we set up. So we're going to go ahead and take our stabilizer jacks down first. So either with a drill or those hand jack, you're going to pull all those up first, make sure everything's secured. The wheel chocks will stay in. And once that's all done, then we can go ahead and hook up the unit back to the vehicle. And I'll walk you guys through how to do that. But again, it's really important to make sure that you have everything that you took out stowed back away, and then anything that was put out like this awning or the slide, make sure that those are good. Do a couple walks around the camper. Anything that looks out of place, then you guys, you should notice it, and just make sure that the camper is as compact as possible as you guys pulled it down, and you'll be in good shape.